again, they need to denounce more, put those people in check, say those negative things about religion or Islam and the Muslims.
And to respond the same way that they would if people were saying those things about Christianity or about Judaism. And also, I was just reminded, and I want to say, I was just reminded that there were also Muslim survivors of the destruction of the World Trade Towers. And before the towers were destroyed, there was what we call a musalla, or a room where the Muslims who worked in the trade towers prayed every single day. And that's also part of what's not known about the truth of the sites.
We also demand from the federal government to investigate about this hate crime which is going on all over the country. I mean, that's very important. Yeah. Yes.
Before 11th Associated Press, what would you think of the idea of moving this facility somewhere away?
That's really not our issue. If the Imam and his Imam Raouf and his staff and his people wishes to do that, we support that. But again, the issue is their right to do so. That's all. Okay.
And furthermore, even if they decide to move it elsewhere, that still won't address the problem of what's going on around the country. And again, even if it is moved, we want to make sure that the issues that we have raised here don't get moved, but rather that they become part of the public dialogue around 9/11 and around Ground Zero.
I'm curious, the recent poll published in Time magazine this week shows that only 64% of people say they don't even know anybody who's Muslim. Do you think that there's a distortion of the view of Islam, apart with, again, 70% of people saying it should be moved? Are you not unsympathetic to those say Islam?
Again, I think we already spoke to the issue of sympathy. Has anyone asked the Muslims who lost family members if they're opposed to these issues? And there are 2 million, according to the United States government, there are at least 2 million African American Muslims in this country, and that's out of anywhere from, and there's another 5 to 7 million who are not African American. So when I hear someone being polled and say, we don't know anyone who's Muslim, then that makes me wonder, who are they polling and where do they live?
Well, it's a national poll.
Nobody's ever called me. I've been in New York City since I was 8 years old. No one has ever asked my opinion about anything from any of those polling services.
Furthermore, again, just to re-emphasize the whole matter of empathy and sympathy, and condolences, and our prayers go out to all of those people.
Absolutely.
Right? But again, we have to respect the Constitution, as the Constitution says, and the Constitution has allowed our people to build that mosque, and we have to respect their right to build a mosque. That's the other issue. So we have to be respectful on both sides. Right?
And we would invite you, at the conclusion, we would invite you to look at those placards. This is not something, let me have that. This is not something that we just made up for today. This is a reproduction of a position by the Majlis Shura, November 2001, official position on matters related to the tragedy of September 11th, and the first section here expresses our grief and our condolences. So we would invite you to examine these. There are people walking around with them. Look at the photographs of the prayer on Warren Street, and then draw your own conclusion.
Two things. One, do you approve of the governor's approach to these discussions that he's been having on an ongoing basis? And second, can you kind of explain what the Majlis represents, aside from being a collection of leaders? Does it collectively have any sort of, authority in the Islamic community?
We are a collective group of imams, leaders, and various service-based organizations who have come together to have discussion on issues and matters of this nature and other things that are going on in the overall Muslim community. to try to represent the community in the best way we can, coming on a platform of unity for all of the Muslims.
And if you look at the Majlis Shura, some of its members are amongst the senior leaders of Muslim communities in the city. We didn't just pop up, we've been around for a long time. And regarding the governor, we place him in that same category of sincere people who want healing and reconciliation, but we want also for him to be informed from our point of view.
Yeah. You have the list of the organizations to whom we are representing. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, thanks. I think it was some of you
Where you from?
mentioned that.
Where are you from?
Who do I work for?
Yeah, yeah.
I was Colin Woody a few times. You know, I think several of you guys, gentlemen, have mentioned religious and political leaders who've been fanning the flames. Can you give us examples of who these folks are?
Yeah, all of the leaders who with the previous administration were up in the White House in the Bush administration, all of those who call Islam an evil religion, all of those who call for burning of the Quran, all of those who vilify and say all kind of filthy things about Prophet Muhammad, all of those who equate Muslims with Nazis. I mean, the public record is there. If you need further names, I'll be glad to give them to you at the conclusion.
Okay,
But
so
it's
thank
well
you very much.
documented.
Thank you very much, all of you, for coming and covering this event. And we will be in touch in the future because we're going to have a lot of activities going on. If any of you missing handing me out your business card, please do so. I will give my card so that we can be in contact.